So we have a group that meets here on Sundays after we leave called Psi. My mic is working, right? Yeah. So we have a group that meets here on Sundays called Psi, and there's spirituality about them. And they want every person to be the best kind of faith that they are. Such as if you're a Christian, be the very best Christian you can be. So they bring in people to talk, and they asked me to come this past week and talk about Christmas. But why it is that we have this holiday. And they asked me a whole bunch of different questions as well. And some of the kids, some of the very best questions. Such as, if Christmas is 12 days long, which we all know because of the song, right? And it's true, because tomorrow starts Christmas season. It's 12 whole days. Does that mean that Santa Claus comes for all 12 days? That'd be great, wouldn't it? But no, that sadly is not the case. And they always have questions, but the one that really stuck with me was one that's just simply, why do you celebrate Christmas? What's the big deal? The simple answer can be, Jesus is born today. Well, 2,000 some years ago today. But the answer wasn't quite going to cut it. Having just a really big elaborate birthday party didn't seem to make much sense. If you think about our Christian holidays, when we talk about our saints and our martyrs, we don't celebrate birthdays, right? We celebrate death days. But like Easter is our greatest, biggest holiday in the whole year. St. Valentine's Day, we're not celebrating his birth. We're not celebrating a little angel thing with a bow and the hearts on it and making you all fall in love with each other. It's the death and martyrdom of St. Valentine. You may now enjoy your Valentine's Day having your little cards and meals and stuff. Happy days, right? So why do we have this day? Why does it matter that Christ is born? We can also focus on that, okay, he was born because he had to be so he could die one day. But it doesn't really help us on today. What's it matter that Christ was born? That God didn't just appear one day out of the nothingness. Just pop, here I am. Deal with it. What's it matter that Christ is born? It matters because God then comes into our lives as one of us. God comes to us as us. And that makes things a bit different. It can help us at times remember that Christ walked in flesh, that God walked with us, that God went through all the things that we go through on a daily basis. I mean, ever think about Jesus' day-to-day life? We know the miracles, those are pretty cool. Water into wine. That's the best one, right? And resurrections, that's kind of cool. Healings. All the big fancy stuff. But we don't always consider just the day-to-day that Christ had to eat. Christ had to walk all over the place because there were no cars yet. That Christ comes to us as an incarnation. Big fun word there, right? If you remember what the word incarnation means, think of the word carne. Where have you ever seen the word carne before? I'm guessing a restaurant, right? I got some smiles here. Okay, it's clicking in here. Carne asada. It's nice, good food. Because it just means flesh. It's meat. God comes to us in flesh. God comes to us in our bodies. Throughout human history, we've tried at times to divide ourselves between body and something else. To be more spiritual would mean that we have to leave this body and go on to something else or get past what we have here. But God comes to us in a body. You carry the image of God on your very form. The Holy Spirit within you. What's that mean for us? That we don't have to go that far to find God. We look in a mirror. We touch our own body. And we see this wonderful gift from God. How often do we take that gift seriously? How often do we rejoice in the bodies that we have? In my house, in our bedroom, we go into an area where there are mirrors on 3 sides of you. Because my previous owners took all closet doors and made them mirrors. That's a bit intimidating some days, right? You have not a 360, whatever 3 sides would be. Every day you get to walk around and go, oh, that's me. We can be really hard on our bodies, right? I was thinking about Star Wars at times, because who doesn't? Baby Yoda, he's cute. Still haven't watched that show yet, I need to. But I think about the droids would call all these organic beings, all the humans and stuff, meat bags. Just a bag of meat. Or the Fifth Element. Fifth Element fans in the room? Bruce Willis? All right. Or he's asked, do you classify yourself as a human? And he's like, no, I am a... You raise your hand, you got to answer the question now. No? I'm a meat popsicle. That's a fun way of viewing yourself too, isn't it? I mean, we harm our bodies. But God comes to us in a body. God comes to us and says, this body that you have is a wonderful gift. This gift that you have that sometimes, maybe you don't like looking at in the mirror, but you know what? It's still a wonderful gift. Treat it like that. Maybe it's failing you today. Maybe your eyesight's are going. Maybe you got to walk around with stuff to help you out. But you still got this wonderful gift that you've been given, where you can see God's presence there. One of the gifts of Christmas is that we get to rejoice in this body that we have and not just see it as a barrier to anything else. Also, God comes to us not just in a body, but in this baby body, a weak body. I've never seen like a baby weightlifting competition. They're not very strong. Sometimes they pop you in the nose. They're pretty strong on those days. Or they're pulling your hair. But still powerless and weak. And God doesn't come to us in all luxury. God doesn't come to us in a 5-star hotel. God doesn't come to us with amazing medicine. God comes to us in a manger. With animals around. And animals doing animal things. And creating wonderful smells to be around too. God comes to us in a very lowly position. And says, here I am. I am here for you. How low do you think you can go in your life? I started off even lower. I started off in a food trough with animals all around wondering, why is this kid in my salad? What is he doing here? We have this God who comes to us and wants to embrace us for who we are and not who we think we should be. Who says, you are a gift. Your body is a gift. Your mind is a gift. The people around you are gifts. Each one of them has been blessed as well. Each one of them has been gifted with their body and their spirit. And I have come to unite all of you to look at each other not with judgment, as has been done for so long, but to look at each other with mercy. To look at each other with hope. And also look at yourself with mercy and with hope as well. Tonight you are forgiven, that you are made whole, that you will never be so low that God will not love you. For here I am this Christmas day, surrounded by shepherds, which are so high on the social class chain, born to a unwed at the time mother, born here in a manger. I come to you. I will love you. I will stand by you throughout all of life and everlasting. How wonderful of a God is that? A God who breaks down every barrier. A God who comes to us in weakness. A God who comes to us in pain. A God who comes to us in the dirt of life. This wonderful God who is born this day. His birth we keep on celebrating with plenty of candles. A birth that changes the world and how we can see ourselves and each other. So let us celebrate. Let's celebrate this Christmas day for the one who comes to us in flesh, when it comes to us and makes us whole. May we rejoice and be glad. Merry Christmas.